Hello, Dan Joss. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
So, what do we have on the menu for today's topic?
Today we're going to talk about Christian financial nonprofit resources.
That sounds interesting. I wonder exactly what that would be. Give me some examples.
Well, when I was younger,
You mean yesterday?
when I wore a younger man's clothes,
Okay, that was much more than yesterday.
I used to listen to the radio, and there was a guy named Larry Burkett
Okay.
who passed away, but he started a nonprofit called Christian Financial Ministries, and he would have radio shows and talk about money and biblical principles and how they apply to specific situations.
Okay.
Kind of a call in, ask Larry a question, and he'd give you an answer from a biblical point of view.
Well, that seems pretty nice if you're of the Christian faith.
Right, and so he's created it is still around 30 years later, what's called Christian Financial Ministries, and they have resources for small groups or individuals, and their tagline is learn it, live it, and lead others to financial freedom God's way.
Okay.
So they not only teach people, but they teach people to teach people. And it's a way of spreading the knowledge
Right.
as were the case.
Okay. And is he the only guy who does this?
Nope, I have a couple other ones to talk about. One is called Crown Ministries.
Okay.
And that's on the website at crown.org. Their tagline is advancing God's principles of stewardship and life. And they have several topics that they talk about. One is money and resources. One is career and identity. One is business and organizational. And so it's generational and legacy. So it's beyond just the individual. And, if you're a business owner and you want to look at the way you're doing business and see how that lines up with what the Bible would say are principles for running a business, Crown has resources to teach that. They also have a link on their website to the YouVersion, which is an app for a Bible study of lots of those different topics. So if you want to do a 5-day study or a 21-day study, those links are there. Great topics to kind of scan through to say, okay, let's get a group together and talk about this week or this month.
Okay.
And then another one is called the Ron Blue Institute. Ron Blue has been around for many years. He's a great financial planner. I do what he does, and he's started what I would say is a more academic approach to teaching others. And so he's actually created college and high school curriculum that you can use. If you're a high school teacher, you could use this semester or quarter curriculum to go through different topics in what we would call biblical financial principles. And so and I like his approach because it's a little bit more academic.
Okay.
And so they teach how they provide resources for colleges and universities on coaching, consulting, intellectual property access, and many other things for the graduate and undergraduate. And then for high schools, say personal finance, life calling or kind of career searching for high schoolers, and leadership courses. And that's for homeschoolers or high schools or people who want to do a self-pace and get credit for it because it is worthy of, or it's approved for credits in different organizations.
Right.
So a little more academic, a little more structured than, a group of 6 or 8 people getting together on Tuesday afternoon to talk about finances.
Right. But the nice thing is that it's Christian-based, so that if that's your faith, it helps keep those principles in mind and steers you in that direction. And for something that's, in many cases, secular, just because money is not of Christ, it's money.
And it changes for every society.
Right.
And Jesus had a lot to say on money,
Sure did.
more than life and death.
Okay.
And most of his parables had to do with either business owners or individuals and their money. In fact, some of his parables talk about what is essentially the national debt. because those were big numbers.
Right. Getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were back then too.
Right. Okay.
So he was one of the smartest teacher around. Never made mistakes, but he had a lot to say about money and the use of money and about life, while using money as the example that everyone understands.
So maybe we should pay attention to that along the way, which is what you've chosen to do in your life for the most part.
Right.
And if someone wanted to talk to you about some Christian financial planning and resources and such, what's the best way for them to do that?
Is to give us a call. Our number is 757-903-2127.
Okay. Website, joshbrown.com.
joshbrown.com.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.